Very strange. All right, I guess we're live. I don't freaking know. Do what?
I should sit back farther.
I know it's
Little tiny Jim.
it's freaking odd.
How cute.
Listen, I'm trying to improvise, adapt, and overcome here, people. Yeah, that'll work. And then if I use this, and then we cross the encabulator with the Framus.
Today's show is clearly about guitars.
Oh my God.
And big screen TVs.
You should see the stack of crap I have piled up here to hold this stupid phone.
So Jim's having camera issues, and that's why we're doing it this way. Jim's on the phone for video camera, which actually the video quality is good. I mean, there's still Jim in the picture, and then he's on the computer for audio.
Right.
What's in the bin? Uh-oh. That's your bargain bin that you talked about in the title. Nice.
Son of a bitch. All right. that angle is beyond horrible. God dang it. And I don't know what the deal is with the camera. It just will not...
Put it into zoom mode so we can see your nose hairs better.
Okay. I don't know if I can do that.
I was joking.
Oh, you never mind, you jerk.
Jim's jerk. A little distracted.
Jim is very distracted.
Yeah. Did we lose your audio? Yep. Can't hear you now.
Okay. I think
there we are.
Okay.
There we are.
Well, I'm mashing buttons on the phone and everything else. Yeah. This is really, really a problem.
It's been like 6 years, and I finally added a dedicated web camera instead of the other camera that I keep looking at because I'm so used to it from 6 years.
Right.
I've now complicated my setup.
About
7 years ago, I had a USB microphone added.
Anyway, wow. So this whole thing has gone to shit pretty quickly. Just saying. Good morning. How's everybody doing? I don't even need to look at that camera. That camera's not even working.
Elsie is correct. Apple is involved. I feel the energy.
No Apple here. This is Windows, and I hate saying that out loud because I'm going to get a lot of smug drama over there.
Windows is overly complicated and advertising ridden. It gets in your way. It doesn't help.
Well,
Doc's saying, bring on the junk. Doc wants to see your junk. $2 is the current bid to see Jim's junk.
Well, about that, we got
got
a problem. I think my audio is echoing now. Testing 1, 2, 3. I don't know what's going on here. Make sure the phone is turned down and the mic is muted. All right. Does it sound okay?
Yeah, it sounds fine. Sounds like it normally does.
Oh, okay. So, yes, we have quite the haul. Unfortunately, I ain't got no way to share the haul at this time. That's the problem. Since all the cameras have kind of crapped themselves, I think I can do this if I do share screen, presenter invite. Where's my extra camera? There it is.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave. I am giant.
Okay. See, and that's the problem is that's where the phone is at too. So there's like, you're kind of SOL on this little operation.
Dave has evened us out. So it's $1. Well, no, actually, I think Dave's actually technically winning. Doc Brad wanted to see your junk for $1.99, and Dave wants to not see your junk. I'll get the thing arranged.
So, yeah. Colin, I know it needs to be sideways, but I don't want to share my whole room with you people. And it's not just you, Colin. It's the whole thing. And I need to look at this camera down here.
He says and then looks away from it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I need to look at this camera over there.
The screen is up here. The camera's down here. I can't move anything because everything will fall. Let me try and... It would make sense if I could actually move this camera a little bit.
The worst problem I have is daylight over my shoulder. I need to do something about that. And that's easy. That's a piece of plywood.
Well, everything worked fine yesterday, and then today the whole thing kind of went to crap.
So I'm going to put the overhead back on, and I'm going to fix this so that we look right. Enough. Now we can see Jim's tower of power for his camera setup.
Yeah. Thank God for SDR Play, a battery in a box.
Yeah. Can't you really quickly 3D print? Oh no, that's right. 3D printing takes like an entire day.
Well, no, it doesn't, but and I could
Right, Hank?
flip this camera up,
Oh,
but
we almost saw your junk.
then you'll see my junk. I don't want to
Nope.
distract you guys with anything. So,
Colin, thank you, but cameras cost a lot more than $2.
can I change
I'm
the
teasing.
camera on
Thank
this
you.
thing and I'll flip to the back camera?
You can, but it on Android at least it tells you that you have 2 forward cameras and 2 back cameras, and it doesn't tell you which one is which. It'll when you go into camera settings, it'll say camera 2,0 facing rear or something like that.
Oh, look here. Back camera. Oh, that's better, at least. No, it's not.
It's okay. You're tiny in the stream, so
Okay, so the view I'm seeing on the screen over here on the side is not what y'all are seeing? On the little one down below, it only shows like my chest up.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's no bueno. Oh my God.
Yeah, Lee, they call it bubble foil now. I have some of that. I just haven't cut it for these windows here, and it'll do 2 things. It'll reflect the sunlight back out. It'll add a little, I guess 3 or 4 things. It'll add a little bit of insulation, and it'll darken it. And then I don't know. This studio, as you know, this ham shack, as every ham shack is a work in progress. A working problem, I was going to say. It is a working problem.
Right. I just think there's no way around this.
It's good enough. Just keep doing some magic tricks with your hands, like get out a deck of cards or something. Pick a card,
Right.
any card, and pay no attention to the tall vertical man on the side.
I know, right? Yeah, I can change. It's letting me change the cameras, all right, but none of them are. Okay,
Hank, I consider that stuff disposable. The
That's probably
bubble
not a
foil
good view.
stuff. Oh, yeah. Now you just need to aim it. It's actually a little bit better. But I think it's the heat that's really going to get it. Because if you stick your hand between the window and the foil, the bubble foil, it is like an oven in there. It's ridiculous.
Oh my goodness.
Bryant, you must not be watching this show if you think it's okay.
All right, what happens if I do that view? You know what? That sucks a little less. Not much.
There we go. All right, let's remove that. Oh, weird. Why did it not change us back? See, this isn't bad.
Well, the angle is beyond horrible, but
It's the best angle you've gotten so far today.
yeah, I know, right? So I went to
Rob, that will happen in an hour.
see. All I'm seeing here is like from here up on the phone, but on the screen, all of that.
The phone doesn't have enough screen real estate to show you anything else.
Yeah, I'm not normally this wide. This is a very weird view for the camera.
The camera adds 100 pounds.
Yeah, and the angle does not help. So I saw a post in Josh's Discord in the HRCC chat, and some guy was getting out of ham radio completely. I know, right? That's cray cray. And so I hit him up, and he was selling a stash of stuff for a really, really good price, like a stupid good price. I don't know that that's any better either way. I just give up. So I apologize for this, guys. It's driving me nuts, but I can't get the other camera to work, and it's going to require me to pull the PC out and jiggle wires. I don't know what's wrong. So anyway, so I got a hold of the guy, and he was getting rid of a FT5D, a D75, an 891, a 710, and a KX2, Elecraft KX2, two Chameleon mag loop antennas, one with some bonus features. One looks to be the standard configuration. Some Chameleon wire antennas as well. So, and then a few other things. And so I contacted the guy and talked to him, and he FaceTimed me and showed me his stash. So I drove up to Memphis on Wednesday. I picked up Joe Brett because I had to drive pretty much right by Joe's house, and picked up Joe Brett, and we rolled on up to Memphis and met the guy and had barbecue lunch and came back home with a trunk full of junk. A trunk full of junk. So I was going to share some of that with you today, and then T.O. and I had something we were going to rant about as well, which I can do because overhead camera.
There's always time to rant.
Oh, yeah. So the first item, can you pop up that other camera, Steve? The first item, yeah, this is a very, very awkward angle on this thing, is an a Kenwood D75. And everything works. The radio powers up. It does the radio things. I've got it halfway programmed. I haven't actually done a lot with it. Yeah, I haven't got it all the way programmed. Actually, I think I reset this and then didn't finish. So we have a D75. This comes with pretty much what you see here. This is USB-C chargeable. You can save the configuration on SD card. You also can charge it with a barrel jack, which I might have. I can't tell. I haven't gone through the entire box. And of course, then it has a Kenwood style connector because it's a Kenwood. So anyway, D75. And all this stuff, guys, I'm going to get rid of. I ain't keeping this stuff. Number one, I don't want or need most of it.
Too rich for a D75 to be staying.
Yeah, I'm never going to use this. That's the thing, you know? So it's like...
John is saying these are really awesome giveaways, and you're so generous. Thank you.
Yeah, that's... yeah, I do. I look like Baron Harkonnen. Yeah. Baron Harkonnen. Depends on which version of Dune you watched. I prefer Harkonnen. But I mean, I love this radio. This is a beautiful radio. But I would never use it. And I had a D74. And I sold it because I never used it. You know, that's the thing. No, there won't be a raffle. I will. You guys can hit me up in Discord for any of this stuff or email. I'm good on the Zed.
There would be a raffle if it weren't for all the government rules involved.
Yeah, there's way too much paperwork and drama.
Delete.
Yeah, absolutely. So the other thing we have, is an FT5D.
Recently dropped, only scratched.
No, actually, that was just the power brick that hit the floor. A 5D with the desktop charger. I think I have a spare battery for this as well. And this guy, of course, works. It's not programmed at all for me. I think it's programmed for Robert, the guy I bought it from, but powers on and works. So we got those two HTs. Anyway, hit me up for prices. I got to figure out prices on some of the stuff. And some of it I'm going to keep, but a bunch of it I'm not. Then we have this little bad boy. I 3D printed that because I wanted it to stand up when I was using it. I made contacts on this yesterday. Works great. I used this with the Poseidon antenna. I need to look at the right camera, not the screen. I used this with the Poseidon and made a bunch of contacts yesterday, and I got no problem with it. It works great. I don't really want a QRP radio, so this is going to go, but it is a beautiful, beautiful piece of kit. And it comes with a bunch of accessories. We have a KX2 power plug to power pole dingus. And of course it has, there's your power there. You can program this. There's software. I updated the firmware on it, but it does radio stuff. And I haven't played with all the things this does. This does data, of course, and it has a CW decoder, I believe. Steve, is that right?
Yeah, it does.
Right. And I have, so with the, let me move the Kenwood before I drop it. And with the old Elecraft, I got a couple of Elecraft books, the official Elecraft KX2 manual and the Elecraft KX2 by Fred Cady.
Your Elecraft KX2 should have a tuner built into it.
It does. It does have a tuner built into it. That is correct. I have the external mic for it. We have a bag of kit for it. I don't know what that power cord is because I don't think that goes to the KX2.
They're talking about 100 watts versus 20 watts versus QRP. 20 watts is great, and if you can't contact them on 20 watts, then you need to get a better antenna from coffeeandhamradios.com.
This has the CW key.
Yeah. When I was a young new ham and didn't know anything, which I guess I still am, I'm just a little bit older, I thought that was the ugliest kickstand for a radio I'd ever seen in my life.
This isn't the kickstand for this radio. This
No,
is
I mean the CW paddle you just showed. I thought that was the ugliest kick. I didn't know it was a Morse code paddle.
And that snaps right on the front of this thing.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I thought that's beautiful because you could literally sit somewhere, you know, if you're good at CW, I'm not, and get your CW on, and it fits right in the front. And there's a couple of little screws to fasten that to it, but so it comes with that, the CW key. That's not part of it.
Kent is correct. Getting the antenna and getting a pound of coffee is the best way to get your signal out.
And a power cable that has nothing to do with it. So, actually, that's a DigiRig. I will throw in the cables.
Nice, 4.5.
I will throw in the cables. I'm going to keep the DigiRig. So, microphone. I don't know what this power brick is. This was in the bag with it, and that's got like some kind of screw-on thing, but that doesn't seem to fit. I mean, it won't fit that at all, so I don't know what that is.
You got a bonus power supply. What's the output on the power supply?
12.5 volts at 1 amp.
Oh, that's not enough for anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't try to power that radio with less than 3 amps.
Yeah.
Probably only needs like two and change, but 1 ain't enough. And Garth is saying that's to charge the internal battery, so you might have to remove the back cover.
I should probably keep that then. Okay.
Remove the back cover, and there might be a battery plug in there. Because that was the way that radio was in the beginning. They made a mod like a year ago so you could charge it from the external connector.
Well, this guy had all the stuff in a box, in a big plastic, very large plastic tub, and it's semi-organized. I'll go with semi-organized, but I didn't know what that was for. It does have. I didn't know what the cable was for because I looked at the radio and it didn't match, and I'm like, I don't know what that's supposed to be.
I guess he was trying to shave a few grams of weight when he built the radio by making it externally chargeable. And there should be thumb screws on the radio to open it up.
Yes, there are. And we can...
So you can, do that real quick and see if you can see that power connector inside.
All right. Let me move that out of the way. KX2 books. Oops.
Doc is really concerned. He wants to know if he was getting out of the hobby for health reasons.
No, he mansplained to me. He's a former bush pilot in Alaska, and he mansplained to me he wants a very minimalist lifestyle, and all he does is FT8, and he doesn't do that very much. And then he mansplained to me a whole lot of other stuff. And he's a nice guy. Just he didn't know my skill level or Joe's, and he didn't recognize either one of us. So obviously he's not, well.
So he wasn't into the hobby, is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
So this has thumb screws on the back.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Well, I can't because I have to. Well, no, that'll come off. That's right.
You got no thumbs? I got no thumbs, Jim.
No, I couldn't remember how I put that thing on. It has a battery inside. I know that because I've already had the cover
turned on. Yeah.
I've had the cover off once. I ran it on 12-volt power, yes, on a power supply yesterday. I guess those didn't need to come off all the way.
Yeah, there's your battery pack.
So
It's
there's
half the radio.
There's the battery. It has an internal tuner as well. Yeah, so there's the plug for the battery right there. I think that's what that is.
It's kind of like an estate sale, only the guy's still alive. He's getting
Yeah.
rid of everything.
Yeah, that's the charger for the battery. That's exactly what that is.
Excellent.
Is that little barrel connector. I remember I
What
had
kind
a
of battery is it? Does it say?
Yeah, it's a
It's a NiCad. I'm kidding.
no, it's a LiPo.
Oh, that's going to burn your house down.
No, lithium ion, not LiPo. No polymer. Lithium ion rechargeable pack with PCM and barrel plug connector, 10.8 volts, nominal 2600 milliamp hours, minimum 2420 milliamp hours. So.
Yeah, that'll last you all day on that radio.
Will it? I have no real feel for that with such a low power battery. I don't really know.
The guys over at Elecraft are really, really good at making radios. They're not as good at making user interfaces as you saw by like trying to struggle to figure out where the on button was, because it's not just one button to turn it on, it's two.
Yeah, that was really a pain in the butt. Because I thought Elecraft is supposed to be fancy pants, right?
Yeah, Wayne makes radios that he wants to use, and he knows a lot about how to radio. This radio he wanted to use as a backpacker type deal and just go out and go for a walk. And he's got an antenna that hooks right up to it. It's got a speaker built in. I think it has a microphone built in too, but that's why that CW key is bolted to the bottom of the radio. I have the KX1 and I've had the K2, and they're great radios. They're just not user interface rivals that of Yaesu's deep menus.
So I printed some accoutrement to go with it. I haven't
Already.
Well, I was going to set it up, but I haven't done all of it yet. There's a way to rig
I want the KH1.
one of these. Yeah, I don't know. I have to play with all these to to move the power from the side over to the back, and then so you can use a like a short version of this and change it out to a whatchamacallit, a power pole setup. But the radio is really nice, and T.O. is right. It's kind of strange to turn this thing on, and of course I don't have an antenna on it now. And
one of the cool things I like about this radio is it'll decode PSK31, and then you can CW send PSK31 back out. So you can do Morse code chat, or you can do PSK31 chat, or you can do voice chat, or you can then plug it into something external and do all the things.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, Jonathan, it does have a mic. I mean, I've got a hand mic for it. Has it got a mic built in? Jonathan has one of these already.
It does, yeah.
Okay. I don't know where it is exactly. Huh. But it's a beautiful, beautiful radio. And it does, like I said, all the radio things. And yeah, I know why he's got two buttons, I guess, so that it doesn't get accidentally turned on or anything. But it's super nice. And I'm not going to pull the other piece over. I've got a 710, which is large, and there's not really room for it. I have, so pretend you've seen a Yaesu 710. Go look at a web page. Camera's down here. Go look at a web page, and you'll see a 710. And that's what I have. Not the model with the speaker. So is that the
The AESS has the speaker, and then the one without it is the FT, the Field Transceiver 710 Field. FT710F IELD.
Okay, so the only
Because
difference
that's what
is the
FT stands
speaker?
for, is Yeah, that's what FT stands for, is field transceiver.
Okay. Well, I don't have a speaker with it, so I have that 710.
Congrats, Liberty Cave.
LC, way to go.
New grandchild. Nice.
The Chameleon loops. So I have two Chameleon F loops.
Loop.
Which, yeah. And they're not really rated for more than apparently 30 or 40 watts.
That
the
thing in your left hand
yes.
is the thing that does the power, yeah.
Yeah. So I have one of these. I have two of these. I have two sets of wire loops, cable coax loops, the inner loop piece, and then I have also the large, like 4-foot diameter aluminum hoops that go together to use instead of the coax loops.
Nice.
And I have no use for any of that. I would play with one, but these require you to be outside, turning knobs outside. So it's kind of, I mean, I'm not going to.
They have a motorized tuner for it, I believe.
Yeah, they do. The guy didn't have one. He said he used it on his balcony a lot. He would set the antenna up and he'd sit, there and twiddle and do POTA hunt and all that kind of stuff. And he said it worked great. And mag loops are pretty magical, apparently, but it's not anything I'm ever going to be able to mess with.
That's what the mag is short for. It's MAGIC, magic.
Magic loop. Yeah.
Magic loop. They just call it mag loop because they couldn't pronounce the one extra syllable.
So I only have the one of these. He said this will take it up to 65 watts on sideband, and it's labeled on here. I don't know if that shows up well enough.
No, it's blurry.
And 25 to 30 watts. Yeah, that's inside there we go. Look at
there we go. So 30 watts digital also.
Yeah. And without that, it doesn't support that much power. I think it is very QRP oriented.
Like because it's got an air variable capacitor in it, and you'll arc across the fingers, the flanges.
Right. More juice, and then it'll start doing things it shouldn't do. So I have two complete loops, and then I have a deluxe loop. Well, actually, I have two loops. One is a deluxe loop, and one is a standard F loop. And I don't need either one of these. And like I said, other than playing with this stuff, I have no real use for it. But the guy was getting rid of it at such a low ball price. I was like, well, we can do some things with that.
Yeah, the website for Chameleon for these loops is not easy to comprehend. Like,
oh yeah,
when you go there, it's like, do I get all 90 of these pieces? And then you find out that only if you select the appropriate options do you get those pieces, and it's not clear what options give you what pieces.
Can you pull up Chameleon's website?
I can.
I just don't know what the deal is with the real camera this morning. This has completely harshed my buzz.
So normally you're a lot happier?
I'm always happy. I'm freaking happy all the freaking time.
Then go
I'm
back,
happy now, kind of.
And then add that. Hard to tell. So let's go back to the Chameleon website, and they're having trouble with shipping. Let's see, store.
Yep, not recognizing the camera at all.
Loop antennas. So there's the F-Loop 3.0, and it's out of stock, and it's $500 by itself. And I believe the F-Loop 3.0 is just the piece that you see here on the site. It's the telescoping section to hook up the radiator, which is the little tiny loop at the top, which then couples with the great big piece of not technically coax, but still coax. If they do it, if they do it, that was the wrong thing. What they do is they take the center conductor and the shield and hook that up, and then they take the center conductor and the shield and hook that up so that you get a great big resonator, and it's no longer actually coax. It's just made of coax as its material. It's kind of like when you take copper pipe and do that. It's an antenna now. It no longer transfers water from point A to point B.
Right. So there's coax that goes there. I'm not sure what the giant bolt is for on the front. That may just be, is that a ground?
It's awful big. Somewhere you got to stick that power compensation hockey puck thing.
Yeah, I know.
And does it go over the coax? Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
But that's kind of awkward still anyway. It's got to be part of the antenna in order to absorb power.
Right. So, and well, this is $100 for this guy.
Yeah.
And then pop back to Chameleon, my friend.
Oh, I hate the way it does this.
So then
StreamYard, use your product.
right.
It goes over the SO239, Aloysius is saying. He's a smart guy. I'll take his word for it.
Well, that makes sense. It seems like it fits there. That doesn't really make any sense. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know which side it goes on, and it may not matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It should not matter. Let's put it to you that way.
Right. So the other options, is that got, yep, that's the other option. I have that giant hoop.
And those are metal hoops.
Yep. Which will work in place of the coax.
Which is not coax.
True.
It looks awful suspiciously like coax, but don't hook your radio to it.
Really? Has it got a different impedance or something? Or?
No, that's what I just did, that whole like on-screen finger demonstration in front of everybody. They connect the center pin to the shield and the shield to the center pin. So it's a radiator.
Gotcha. To make the magic work.
And then I made that explanation, the analogy of, copper pipe no longer being water pipe once you make it into a J-pole.
Right. I was
Now an
messing with
antenna.
things and I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. It's my show. I don't have to be sorry. So what is the metal option add to the price of that thing?
Well, it doesn't. So, yeah, it doesn't tell you. So first off, they're all out of stock. And I can't tell. This is what I was talking about with the website. So the basic kit is probably the piece of coax that's no longer coax.
Right.
Then there's the 3.0 total, which has a 4-foot diameter LMR 400 radiator. And I can't tell if it's different than the basic radiator, but they do make one where it's 2 loops of coax that go around instead of just one. So you get twice as much wire in the air. And then there's the Plus, which is the one that has 2 sections of aluminum radiator. And that one is $650. So it's $150 for those extra 2 pieces of aluminum. It's $78 for the extra 2 feet of coax. And then it's $500 for the base kit.
Okay. Which is less of the radiator cable.
Yeah, let's see about that power cup, the power compensator. $99 for the power compensator, like you had said. And I don't think it tells you what's in it, but it does go over the coax. And I would love to see if they had put. I love it when you click zoom in on a picture and it just shows you the same small picture again.
Right.
I'd love to see like 2 little cutouts so that it can flush mount, so you get a better bite on your coax radiator.
Mm-hmm. Paul says the 2 loops allow 80 meters. He built the DIY kit of the 3.0.
And then if you look at it, the piece that you're talking about, it sits flat with the metal base on the table. And then this stud that you were asking about, that's where the telescoping mast goes to hold up the small loop.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So this is really, really designed for portable operations, or
it
somewhere
is, but
where
it's
there's a table. I
difficult to set up. Yeah, I mean, you want to clamp it to a table or mount it to a tripod or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not impossible to set up. It's just, there's just a lot to it for portable. I mean, for me, like, 17-foot whip and a single counterpoise and I'm on the air. And if I'm feeling really spicy, 17-foot whip and no counterpoise and I'm on the air, just use my tuner, toss a wire in a tree. The good part about this thing is that it rejects signals pretty hard. So it's directional off the
super narrow Q on this, right?
Yeah, in plane it's directional, and then depending on the band you're on, it's very, very high Q. So, we could actually have 2 of these on 40 meters in the park at 2 adjacent picnic tables in the same campsite and not talk to each other.
Yeah. And like I said, I wouldn't mind playing with it, but I'm never going to actually use this. I mean, I might hook it up once, then I'd sweat a lot because I'd be outside, and I'm over that.
It's super touchy to tune too. That dial on the front is a gear reduction dial to begin with.
Yep.
But then when you turn it, just like if you just grab it and sneeze, well, sneezing's too violent. If you just grab it and kind of wink, you've moved 12 kilohertz in the band.
Well, Kansas Jeff is saying, Aloysius, we need to talk, buddy. Jeff is saying if you touch it, it changes the thing a lot. So
Yeah.
I don't
Just
know.
just that little tiny movement, and well, you touching it, that's you in the near field, so you become
Right.
part of the antenna real quick.
Right, which would just drive me crazy because you're trying to tune it, but you're in the near field, so you're
Yeah.
screwing up the tuning, and then when
You
you
have
get
to
out of the near field,
you have to arm's length, touch it, move back, check it,
right,
touch it, move back, check it. Yeah.
you need one of those like 10 feet long squeezy things that you could grab the knob and twiddle it from 10 feet away.
Yeah.
So I have this set up here. I have one complete fancy loop set up with a hard loop as well, and then I have the other one has the two radiator loops. I think it's the short one and the long one. The coax is still out in my truck because it's in the way, but
So that coax is labeled. It's ABR that makes it for Chameleon, and it's got the
Okay.
green labels on the end, and it'll tell you that it's a radiator on it. So it'll tell you which one. So when you pick it up, you can look at it and determine that it's not actual transmission line.
okay. Yeah, and it's not mixed in with the other stuff. And of course, this is LMR 400 coax cable, so it's hefty. And he's got some smaller pieces of coax in there, like 25 and 50 foot runs. So I'm not going to get it mixed up anyway. So we got those, and these are cool. And if you're interested in these, please hit me up in email or Discord. And if you're Discording me, I see several people have. I can't really look at it right now.
It's already sold,
but
Jim.
Good deal. I got this. Who can tell me what that is?
I can, but I'm not gonna.
I know you can. I want to see if anybody in the chat
Does
figures that one out.
Does it have like an SD card slot in the end, or is it? I can't tell from the camera pixelation. It looks like
No.
there's a little notch in the end for something.
It looks like it, but there's no SD card on the board.
There shouldn't be.
Yeah, there's not.
It's interesting that he would have that, though.
Yeah, he had that. I set it up last night. It is not a Pi.
No. It's not an isolator.
Doc,
The isolator, you need to have another USB port on it.
Doc Adams, you are close. You're very close. You're circling. You're not quite to the event horizon, but you can definitely
There's-
see it from where you are.
Two
Amen.
choices, and I'm leaning on the other one. Yeah, I'll go with
Chris, no, it's not a dingus to steal your info. So we have 2 or 3 answers that are really, really close to actually nailing what this thing is.
Aloysius. I think he's narrowed it down to a 50-50 chance.
Well, I didn't see what he's.
He says
yeah.
a small Zum spot.
So this is I think it seems to be, it is an Ambi 3000 DV Mega.
That's the chip,
This is not the Northwest Digital one that we
the
use.
Thumb DV.
Yeah, the Thumb DV.
I bet it could be done the same way, though. That's the thing I haven't had a chance to check out.
Well, I fired it up on Blue DV last night and connected to Toad's D-Star, and I didn't fool with DMR, but I hit up Fusion and I hit up D-Star, and it works fine.
Yeah.
So
This thing will allow you to get your computer onto any of the digital mode, hotspot mode, connected talk groups, rooms thing without a radio.
Without a radio. And there's a variation of it, and I didn't test that part. But there's a variation of these where I think I've done it with the Northwest Digital ones, where your computer becomes the hotspot with Blue DV.
Yes. I'm grabbing that one.
So you can do both. I know you can with the Northwest Digital one, and I can't remember about this one. But this does let you use the computer as the radio. So there's a subtle difference there. One of them, you're using the computer mic and audio, and it is the radio. So you click a button on the app, the Blue DV app, and it opens the mic, and you talk, and then you can hear everything out of it.
So this is the one that turns into a radio.
Is that the Northwest Digital one?
No, this is the Northwest Digital one.
Yeah, there we are. I recognize that.
But I swear that this is very close to what you have.
I think so too.
And I bet you can do the exact same thing with the one that you have from ZumSpot that you can with the one from Northwest Digital. These are usually out of stock. And with the one that you have and this one here, this one you can turn your Android into a hotspot, or you can use your Android without a hotspot because it'll do both. It's got the chip inside, the Ambi chip, and then the one you have, I think you can do Android based stuff.
Yeah. So I did, like I said, I used it as the radio last night on Toads, tuned over to REF 30 Charlie on D-Star. And as usual on REF 30 Charlie, there was a whole bunch of geezers just yakking away. So that thing works great. I have no use for it, but I've got one. Also for sale. And then I got a couple power supplies. Oops, I'm pulling wires here. I got to remember not to twirl the chair the wrong way. I've got a PowerWorks, and I think this is a linear. Oh, no, it says it's switching.
No,
Never mind.
it's switching. It's too small to be a linear.
Well, that's what I thought, but it's pretty heavy. So this is a
They put weight in it to make you think it's worth more money.
this is an SS30DV, so I'm going to assume that that is a 30 amp power supply
Good assumption.
since it has 30 in the model number. No, that would be a wrong assumption. 25 amp total.
Yeah, so it's probably 30 on the burst, which is the same way the Astrons are
Yeah.
rated, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
The Astron's a 50 amp power supply, but it's only really good for 40 on a constant current basis.
And then the other one, power supply wise, how are we on time? 41 minutes. We're okay.
Yeah.
Is this guy an Alinco?
Yeah, I
And
like those.
This is kind of sexy because you don't have power poles on this like you do on the other one that we just looked at.
You could
but
easily swap that.
Yeah, this is a little row thing right here. Pop the lid off.
Move it
and make
about
the
4
thing.
inches away from you.
Oops.
There you go.
Yeah, the camera. Keep hitting the camera too. So you have the noise offset. You can adjust the voltage as well. So if you don't want 13 volts, if you're using this for a bench power supply to tinker with something, you can turn down the voltage so you're not going to blast whatever you're doing. This here flips between displaying voltage and current, and then that's your main power. You've got the two buses in the front. These are only 5 amps max. So if you're using this as a bench power supply, which is what this is really, these are designed for, you're current limited so you don't completely blow yourself up.
LC wants that one.
LC, dibs, okay. Hit me up in the Discord, my friend. And then on the back here, we've got binding posts.
And
I
those
don't
should
know-
be 30 amps max.
Yeah. 32.
32 amps. Nice.
Let me rearrange it.
Jeff, that's offensive. It is not a cigarette lighter output. It is a aux port or a PowerPoint.
PowerPoint, that's right.
Yeah.
Jeff, Kansas people.
I'll be in Kansas tomorrow. Later today, actually.
And then you have, and I don't have anything for it, but there's a remote control port right there.
Why would you need a remote control of power supply?
I don't know what that is.
Because you can.
Because you can.
So
and then preset.
Talk about that noise offset thing for a minute.
So,
And 4.5 Texas 4.5 wants the bigger PowerWorks power supply.
all right. Email me, hit me up in Discord. Let me know, people. Because can't really watch the chat today very well, and just
Yeah.
hit me up. So if you're getting, these are switching power supplies. So these things literally switch tens of thousands of times per
I
second
hope not, Dave.
to do their thing, and that can generate noise. So what the noise offset does is allow you to move that noise up and down out of the way, not lower the level, just scooch it one way or the other. So if it is generating RF noise on whatever you're doing, then you can scoot it out of the way. I've had another power supply with this, and the ironic thing is I never had a problem. I don't think I ever
Right.
touched the noise offset. I played with it and I went, okay. But I didn't have any problem with it. And this thing is shielded. I mean, this is a stout booger on this.
Hillbilly,
case.
I'm going to try, but I'm going to kind of phone it in on trying. It's a weird storm situation that's going on here. There's been a lot of tornadoes the past couple days, so
Joe Brett.
everybody stay safe out there.
I've not heard from Joe Brett since last night, but I know two went through his town. And I haven't heard from him this morning yet. So y'all keep Joe Brett in your thoughts.
Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. Doc Brad, thank you very much. He wants to see you use an actual cigarette lighter on that and light up your Newport Monday
Doc,
night.
I don't have
Does
a
it?
car that even has one of those things anymore.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
I'd have to go to the parts store and buy one for, like a 75 Ford or something. And they were pretty much all the same. No, but no.
Yeah,
I
we're
don't
actually
have-
kind of worried about the storms. Luckily, they're all east of us, but we've gotten a hotel room twice here this week because of the high winds. The trailer's not going to flip over. I'm not worried about that, but it's like somebody poking you every odd number of minutes, going, "Hey, are you awake? Okay, just checking. Hey, are you awake now? Just checking."
So we can get rid of that one at this point. Oh, well, no, we still got the other thing we want to talk
Nope.
about. What was the other
Let's
thing?
talk about your thing.
The radio, the mobile radio situation.
Yeah,
You had some show and tell as well?
we both did. Yeah, so Jim bought that 2730B, and he's been kind of talking it up, talking about
So-
how awesome it is, how
What-
how he got everything in the box that he would need.
It's a great radio. Let's go with that. It's a great
Yeah.
radio.
So should I pull out like the $20 CB radio and we'll compare it to see what you get in the box, or should I pull out a competitive model, full duplex dual band 2 meter 70 centimeter radio and we can compare that? Which one do you want to? Which one would make you more sad?
They're both making me sad right now, even thinking about it. So take your pick, whichever one you
mean-
want to inflict damage on. Oh my god!
Plain cardboard box CB radio. This is a CB 606 Pro. No, this is the regular 606. I have a 606 Pro also. This is the regular 606, and this is 4 watt, and it does FM and AM. And I get a radio in the box. Do you get a radio in your box, Jim?
I got a radio in my box. Hold on.
Okay.
I got a radio.
See, this is where those speaker jacks on the front of your power supply would work, because this isn't going to pull more than 5 amps to run.
Right.
Okay, let's see, what else did I get? I got a microphone. Did you get a microphone?
I have a microphone, and I have all sorts of fancy remote controls on my microphone.
Okay, I think I got you on this one. Are you ready for this? You ready to cry?
What?
I got a piece of bent metal.
You son of a bitch!
I got a mounting bracket.
I got a head.
Oh, I have that too. This is where you win. You have
I
a
had to print-
detached head, not a detachable head.
Well, when I originally got it, I had to print this piece. This is printed, you perverts. And John, if you're watching, and I know you are, this is not what you think it is. Yeah, I had a head. Now, I didn't pull all, this was already mounted in the truck. So I also got a very long power cable, and I got the control head cable. And that,
My wife just put the slides in and took the
That's
truck
all I
away.
got.
I'm worried.
uh-oh. That's all I got. No bracket.
So
Zero
that was.
bracket.
Now I'm putting the radio back in the box. So let me do that. Now, see, the other radio that I have is the Retevis MA1, which is a dual band 50-watt mobile,
Mm-hmm.
which is what yours is. But mine has an attachable head. Yours does not.
Well, it would be if I bought the bracket for it. Yes.
And
This is pretty much what it came with.
Yeah.
Again, there was a long power cord, a microphone, the head minus the mount, the base.
I think she's trying to hook the truck up. If I shake violently, it's because she hit the trailer.
Oh Lord, should we pray?
Yes.
And of course, it came with the like about a 16 or 20-foot cable to connect the head to the base, and that's it. There was literally, and again, I 3D printed that. There is literally no way to mount this. Just pretend the plastic piece isn't there. There's literally no way to mount this head to this base without buying $60
Right.
or $80 worth of hardware from ICOM. It doesn't come with the radio at all. It literally came with what you see here and the
Yes,
two
John.
other wires, and that was it. So I like the radio. It's a beautiful screen, and it's really easy to see. And since I don't have the control wire because I wasn't unwiring the truck for this demonstration. I can't
Hank,
show
there's
you
an old statement. If you have to ask how much it costs, you can't afford it.
that. Right.
I can't afford it. I'm not
What?
asking.
What was he asking?
Oh, she's hooking up the truck to the trailer, I guess.
Oh,
I
okay.
hope. Either that or she's just leaving me here all alone. But Hank wanted to know what the payback was for having her do that. Like I said, I can't afford it.
Paul, is this the one is this what you're saying? You're getting the 2370B, the black one?
The black model.
Because I'm talking to you, son. There's no hardware, so
Yeah, he's getting the black one. So be prepared to be missing a bunch of pieces, which is a good thing. That's why we do the unboxing stuff, because you never know what you're not going to get and need to get in order to be successful. There is no way to actually use this radio usefully as you buy it,
correct.
because you have to hold the head in one hand, you have to hold the mic in the other hand, and then what? You know, like, how do you change channels when you don't have a third hand to change channels with?
I mean, you could power this up and lay the bass on the seat, you know, but then you need to drive. So you could hold the steering wheel in the head at the same time, and then the mic in your other hand, and drive into stuff. That's the only way you're going to use this radio out of the box, literally.
John saying all sites should say what's in the box. John, I would like just to have some pictures on a lot of the sites. Like you go to DX Engineering's website and it has this little teeny tiny picture, and then you click on it, and that little teeny tiny picture goes from down here on the side to up here in the center, but it's still the same teeny tiny picture, and you still can't see anything.
Uh-oh. Oh, Lord. We lost TO. Or have we lost my internet? Guys, am I still here? Alexa, what time is it?
It's 9:55 a.m.
TO down. Okay, it ain't me. At least something works. You know, it's live streaming if nothing breaks. It ain't live streaming if nothing breaks. Yeah, I did do the Velcro, because what I ended up doing with this thing is mounting it under the seat on my side. So all the wires come between the dash and the windshield, and then under the trim crap down to the door, and through the channel on the bottom of the door frame under the seat. So that's where I got this mounted. Yeah, she must have hit something important. Oh boy. Oh boy, I'm glad I'm not Mrs. McGrain, and I'm glad I'm not him. Because right now, if that's what happened, he's trying not to say anything really bad. And no matter what happened, it's his fault. It's because she couldn't see, or, you know, whatever happened, it's probably Steve's fault anyway, even if it's not. I would never. She pulled the AC plug. All right, Steve-O, thank you. Oh my gosh, that is funny. That was hysterical. Anyway, guys, any of the stuff I showed today, I'm selling most of this. I might want to keep some of it, but I doubt it. I certainly don't need mag loops. I'm not going to keep the KX2 or the 710. So I'll sell this thing too, because I've got 3 of them already. I don't really need another one. 2 of them at least. The stick, Ken, all right. Aloysius, I'd say head over today, but I think the weather is about to turn to crap here. But we'll figure this out. All right, guys, I'm going to hit the button because this has just been one disaster one disaster after another, and I'm leaning against the microphone. Y'all, appreciate it very much. I promise next week things will be much smoother and maybe more professional and grown up. Y'all, 73, have a good one.